evil design of North Korea's death camps. Y'all, you got two options. North Korean death camp, or you have to live in New Jersey. Honestly, both sound pretty painful. And like in hell. It's rough. I won't even know how to answer it. Or be the son of Bonnie Blue. Yo, that's a good one. North Korean death camp, or you're the son or daughter of Bonnie Blue. But low-key, at least if you're in the North Korean death camp, you're not gonna come out with like 20 different diseases. At least you may lose your life in that moment. Come out of Bonnie Blue, you are literally gonna be immune to every disease out there. A new COVID's gonna come out, and you're gonna be like, wait, did something coming out? Like, oh, I think I already got that. I'm immune to it, bro. In a way, it'd actually be kind of OP. You'd be immune to everything. At a cost, though. You're Bonnie Blue's child. June
Class is about to
1989.
start for these 40 school kids. Like every week, the teacher starts searching everyone's pockets. This time, he finds something.
Yo, I like that little message. Our animations are made by humans. Yo, low-key, every creator gotta start doing this now for their videos. Hey, all my video scripts are made by me, written by me. The only time I'd ever use an AI is for like research, which everybody fucking does, and y'all do it too. So shut the fuck up, don't even be like, oh, Tommy, come on, bro.
On a little girl, 5 kernels of grain. The teacher snaps and commands the girl to come up front. She has to kneel down on the hard concrete floor. With a wooden
Bro, for a little itty bitty grain? Are we dead ass?
stick, he strikes her on the head. Again, and again, and again, and again. Her classmates watch in silence. The beating goes on until the little girl collapses.
This is the type of punishment, bro, immigrant parents motherfucking got, and that everybody else had to suffer the consequences, bro. Now, my shit was never this crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I never got a punishment like this, bro. And they just think it's perfectly fun. They're like, oh, why not? It teaches the kid how to be disciplined. The only this teaches your kid, bro, is to abandon you and let you die in a nursing home. I know a lot of kids, bro, that just don't even talk to their parents, dude. After they got enough money to get the fuck out of their parents' house or whatever, they don't talk to them anymore like that. It's not even a full cutoff. Sometimes it's just like not calling them at all or whatever. Maybe you see them, maybe you'll come like once or twice in a year. Yeah, man, that shit is really terrible.
Afterwards, her classmates carry her home.
I had to walk over mountains and rivers to get to
she
school.
dies.
What?
The little girl and the other 39 children are all
rest in
inmates
peace.
in one of North Korea's deadliest prison camps, Camp 14.
Comparisons have been drawn to the Nazi death camps, to the Soviet Gulag. You know, they're accurate, and in their own way, they're different.
A lawless detention facility hidden in the
I think it's the crazy thing is about all this North Korean information we hear is like, it's definitely way worse seeing the footage. It's obviously run by state media and nobody has cameras and shit. We don't have video of this, but I feel like if you saw things like this, bro, it's straight to remind you of like how shit was like in the 1930s and 40s, dude. I mean, he said it was like similar to like a fucking Nazi camp. I wouldn't be surprised if you just walk in, bro. Hey guys, Tommy NFG here. You know, only half of you guys are subscribed and even less of you guys have noties on. I hate to be a burden, but you know, I really appreciate it if you hit that sub button and the little bell next to it. You know, it doesn't take long. I know you can get mixed up in the algorithm and everything. But yeah, also tune into the streams. You know, we have a lot of fun over there. I'm telling you, we have a lot of parties going on over there. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Damn. They got like the same fucking torture methods. You'd be like, dude, is this 2025 or is this 1925? Like, what is we doing?
mountains of Kaeshan, a place where people are imprisoned for the crimes of their
I hope
parents.
to live to see the
Once
day
you end
North
up
Korea
here,
dictatorship
you will most
falls.
likely die
Yeah,
here.
hopefully.
This is truly a space that is outside humanity, let me say that.
Prisoners are forced to work under inhumane conditions. The smallest mistake can cost them their lives. Escape is almost impossible. Only a handful make it out, risking everything on deadly routes.
Wow.
In North Korea, there are several of these death camps, and the
Yo,
regime
I think the sad thing about escaping North Korea too is like, you know your family's dead. That's the thing. Like, the reason why, y'all, the North Korean population, how everybody hasn't tried to like leave, their families are gonna die. You're basically sacrificing your whole family for you, which is like however many people, 3, 4 people, 5 people.
has kept them a secret for decades. But through the relentless work of human rights organizations, satellite imagery, and reports from survivors, we can have a glimpse at these facilities. Why are people being sent to Camp 14? What does daily life look like inside?
Bro, you know why they were being sent there? When a fire burned down their house, they forgot to save a picture of Kim Jong-un. They forgot to save the picture and they worried about their kids. That is dead ass a law, by the way, for y'all that don't know. If you don't keep a picture of Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, if you don't keep it up in the house like pristine, the North Korean military checks it. Then your ass gets sent to prison. Insane. That law is so stupid. Dead ass, your house burns down and the picture burns down with it, you get sent to prison.
Walls. What horrors do the inmates face? And how do people actually get out? This is the story of the most horrific prison camp in North Korea.
That shit literally looked like Auschwitz.
This story is based on Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden. One former prisoner of Camp 14 later changed parts of his story. Every time you see this symbol, it marks those revisions. If you want to know more about the exact changes and the reasons behind them, we recommend reading this article. Since North Korea denies the existence of these camps, independent verification is not possible.
It's like, do they know nobody believes them? North Korea is the spitting image of there is no war in Ba Sing. Everybody is happy. They have to know in some type of way. Everybody just looks at them like, you're dumb as f. We all know this is propaganda. You propping up these fake grocery stores, these fake citizens and shit in the city. Literally nobody believes it. The only people that maybe slightly may believe it, I don't even think they do, is like Russian people and stuff, because that's state media and like they're kind of allies and stuff. But then again, even they don't believe in that shit either. Pretty sure there's no person out there that like believes that North Korea is a calm society.
Shin Dong-hyuk
And China?
is just a young boy.
Even China, bro. China, for real. The only thing that, well, okay, they clamped down on other shit, but like the main thing they clamped down is like, yeah, on people trying to talk shit about the government. Other governments, they don't really care as much like that about like people talking shit on it, you know? Like I seen clips of their social media and they'll talk shit about like all different types of fucking countries except like China.
Witnesses the little girl being punished for having food in her pocket. Shin has no doubt she deserved it. After all, she stole food. And at Camp 14, stealing means death. He doesn't question it. He knows nothing else.
Wow.
The camp rules are his reality. Shin was born in Camp 14, but his parents didn't fall in love. They were assigned to each other by prison guards. Intimacy between men and women is strictly forbidden. If a woman becomes pregnant without permission, both she and the baby are shot.
Nigga, what? Don't even make any sense. How do you have kids? And this nigga Kim was crying about his birth rate. He was crying about his birth rate dropping. This is the way you have to have kids.
In Camp 14,
I always wonder, bro, just like how can a person like somebody like Kim, bro, I honestly think like, oh man, this is a great society to live in.
There's only one way to have a child: promotion.
Wow.
Those who work hard and, more importantly, snitch
Because
on
it's good
others
for him?
may be granted a reward marriage. This is how Shin Dong-hyuk and his older brother Shin Hee-gyun come into the world. But they don't grow up as a real family. Their mother never talks about the past. Shin has no clue why his parents were imprisoned, and it probably wouldn't matter anyway.
It's all about suspicion. You know, you don't have to be an anti-regime character. But if you're suspected of being anti-regime, of being a wrongdoer, a wrong thinker, of having engaged in wrong associations, they will send you to the camp.
This is Greg Scarlatoiu. He's president and CEO of HRNK, the Washington-based committee on...
The crazy thing about this is people visit. Really think of it. You may think you're on a bad path. You may think you're stupid. You've done dumb things. People out there that visit North Korea for fun. This is how they treat their own citizens, bro. How do you think they're gonna treat a fucking foreigner? Nigga, there was that case of that one American dude that like ripped down a North Korean poster and then like he ended up getting arrested or whatever there, and then they shipped him back here, and then the dude ended up like dying after a week being here. They did some shit to his body. Nothing in that boring ass country. Dead ass. Like South Korea is next to there, bro. South Korea got good looking ass women, got some pretty nice music, got some amazing beautiful structure, and like go there. There is no point in visiting North Korea.
Human rights in North Korea. For years, Greg and his team have been investigating human rights abuses at these camps. Like many others, Shin will most likely stay in Camp 14 for the rest of his life, even though he never committed a crime.
Wow.
This is the house Shin and his mother live in. Along with his mother's promotion came slightly better housing. They share it with 3 other families and sleep on the floor. There is a single light bulb in the kitchen. Electricity works for just 2 hours a day. There's no
Why?
no furniture, no shower, and
What?
barely enough food to survive. The building is part of a model village, one of many. Camp 14 is estimated to cover around 153 square kilometers,
Oh my god.
almost 3 times the size of Manhattan.
Oh
It is
my
secured by a
god.
60-kilometer fence, patrol paths, barracks, guard posts, and checkpoints. The whole area stretches from river valleys to mountain peaks.
This has got to be human rights violations, bro. The whole country is human rights violations. I kind of wish with North Korea, countries wouldn't work with them at all. Because, you know, the only reason North Korea really survives nowadays, to be honest, is China and, like, Russia. Deadass, if North Korea had no countries working with it, dude, it'd be done for. Like, they'd have to change their leadership, but that's never going to happen.
The wilderness and the Taedong River act as a natural barrier, an immense obstacle course separating the facility from the outside world. Little villages are scattered across the vast area.
And they low-key don't even
containing
like him.
housing
They
and
definitely don't
working
like him.
units.
These are sprawling facilities. They're very large facilities. So at some of these facilities, you see farming, agriculture going on. You see some of these facilities that are adjacent to coal mines or other types of mineral exploitation.
The camp has its own railroad network and generates its own electricity. And it also has a school. This is where Shin goes every day. His teacher wears a guard's uniform, carries a weapon, and teaches obedience above all else. Camp rules are brutal. There are 10 of them. Even the smallest violation can lead to execution. Shin memorizes them all. Rule 1. Any witness to an attempted escape who fails to report it will be shot immediately.
Oh my god.
Rule 3. Anyone who steals or conceals any foodstuffs will be shot
Stealing food, you get shot, probably die from stealing a little bit of food.
immediately. Rule 5. Anyone who holds or hides a fugitive's possessions, conspires with him, or fails to report him will be shot immediately. The guards
Look at this, he's chopped as f, bro. That's probably why he's mad as shit. Dude has to shoot kids, bro, because his hairline's already gone.
enforce the rules
You ain't asked Kim for a hairline surgery?
without mercy.
내가 총을 꺼내서 뭐 쏘거나 해도 하나 뭐 가책을
Wow.
느끼지 않았어요. 일반적으로 우리는 그때 쏴도
When we had some
나라를
thought it was the
지키기 위해서
right
내가
thing to
한
do.
일이기 때문에 그
videos.
수용소에는 그 들어오게 되면 사람이 아니에요. 사람이 아니고 그 뭐 내 마음대로 해도 돼요. 그 안에 사람은 그 자리에서 죽이게 했으면 죽이고 살리게 했으면 살리고 하는 건 내 마음이에요. 뭐 설명해 주세요.
See, this is why the cycle never ends too, yo. I'm telling you. As long as the system's set up, because people think like, oh, somebody moral is gonna come around, right? Which hopefully, yeah, but it's like they're all set up in that system, basically. And everybody that comes to a moral thought dips out the country and leaves. So everybody that is there, that is the military leadership and shit, they're terrible people. They're brainwashed.
Across North Korea, there are different types of detention facilities. The worst of them are called Kwanliso. Camp 14 is one of them. It's also called a total control zone.
People never get out of those. You know, they just waste away. They get killed by this vicious cycle of malnutrition and forced labor.
Shin's mother has to work the rice fields, 10 to 15 hours of hard labor every day. If she meets her quota, she receives food, just enough to
Yo,
survive.
it's always so crazy too, also seeing like the average North Korean and then seeing Kim Jong-un, this nigga fat as f, bruh. Fat as f. Meanwhile, all of his citizens is starving. That is so crazy.
The night and make it through the next day.
North Korea is all about production targets. If you don't meet them, and probably you will not meet them, you'll get less food, more work, less food, more work, and that's how you waste away and die. That's, you know, the truly tragic story at these camps.
From the moment Shin starts school, his life is split between the classroom and hard labor in the coal mine. Long work days are made worse by a constant gnawing hunger. Before school, Shin often eats his mother's portion while she's still out in the fields. She beats him for it, but he does it anyway. To him, she's not a source of love or care. She's a rival in the fight for every meager scrap of food. This is Shin's meal, served 3 times a day for his entire prison life. If he makes a mistake, his
This shit look terrible, bro. What the f is this? Like salty soup and beans and a leaf?
portion is cut in half as punishment. Sometimes
my
he and the other
God.
inmates catch rats, the only source of meat in Camp 14.
Bro.
For Shin, this isn't as much as a nightmare. It's
that shit
normal
probably
life.
expired too.
He has never seen the world beyond the barbed wire. Unlike this man. Kim Young,
I feel like being the military, seeing like how the South Koreans move and different things, you're like, shit, I gotta go, bro. Most of the time, that's the people that be escaping. All the military guards, when they see it, they're like, oh, hell nah, I cannot be here.
is in his mid-40s when he's brought to Camp 14.
Not worse than UK Eats.
He knows the world outside very well.
I think it has some
In
competition.
fact, he was a high-ranking military officer and vice president of a state-owned company. In his former life, he enjoyed culture, a chauffeur, and all the benefits of being a government employee. Now he's also forced to work in the coal mines.
Wow.
Kim didn't break any laws to get here. His parents did. In North Korea, this form of collective punishment is called yunjoje, guilt by association. Up to 3 generations can be punished for crimes of family members. When Kim was a child, his father and brother were accused of spying for the United States, enough to execute them. After that, Kim was brought to an orphanage under a new name. It took more than 40 years until someone found out about his true heritage. Even Kim himself wasn't aware of the supposed crimes his family allegedly committed.
There's absolutely no judicial process. This is extrajudicial punishment. They'll just, take you away in the middle of the night, together with your family members. You just disappear. That's how it goes.
개낮에 잡아가는 건 없어요. 다 밤에 그냥 원래 그냥 어느 순간에 와서 싹 다 쓸어가.
They did it at night without the neighbors noticing. So you could wake up one morning with like your good neighbor and then they're just gone. Bro, that is such a crazy concept to me. This is so depressing. Seeing shit like this, bro, it's really like, bro, we privileged as f. I don't even think motherfucking Russia, what would it be, like the mafia or whatever their military is, be moving like this in Chinese censorship. This is crazy.
정치범 수용소에 가서도 그 가족들은 우리가 뭘 잘못해서 왔는지 그걸 모른다는 거죠.
Fear is the most powerful tool for prison guards to keep inmates in line. During Kim's time in Camp 14, a total of 25 inmates are executed. One day, he witnesses a fellow prisoner being killed for collecting chestnuts that had fallen from a tree.
What?
Kim spends most of his days underground. Hours and hours of endless work with no sunlight and no mercy. Kim struggles. He's never faced labor like this before. Mistakes are inevitable, and every one of them is met with the punishment of a guard who never leaves his side. One day, a guard strikes Kim with the butt of his gun till he falls unconscious. For the next 2 days, he only receives half his meals. After more than 2 months of living like this in Camp 14, Kim decides to end it. Following a long day of work, he steps into the elevator of a mining shaft. The metal cage ascends until it reaches a height of around 2,000 feet. He pulls the safety pin, and the elevator falls. But Kim survives, and the vicious cycle goes on.
Yo, I'd be mad as fuck. I'd be so pissed. Also, they have hospitals there to treat him? I'm surprised they just didn't like execute him for trying to end himself or something. 200 feet? I mean, yeah, you could survive a 200 feet fall. That is long though. How many stories is 200 feet? 10 to 20 stories. I'd ask God to take me at that point.
When Shin is about 6 or 7, the camp's borders shift. His village is merged into the neighboring Camp 18, just across the river. It's said to be slightly less brutal than Camp 14, but for Shin, life hardly changes at all. Shin is 15 and has moved out from his mother's home. He now lives with his father. One day, a teacher allows Shin to spend the night at his mother's house, a reward for good behavior. When he arrives, another guest awaits. It's his brother, Shin Hee-gyun.
Why does he look so angry? Bro, why does he look so f***ing angry? Yo, calm your ass down, bro. God damn.
The 21-year-old works at the prison cement factory, a couple of miles away. Shin doesn't like him at all. In the middle of the night, Shin wakes up from his sleep. He hears voices from the kitchen. His brother is talking about escape. His mother seems to support him. Shin's first instinct, he has to report this. He goes to a nearby dorm room and wakes a friend to ask for advice. The friend urges Shin to tell the guards. They go to the school's night guard on duty and report the escape plot. Shin also signs a false police statement, claiming he saw his mother and brother commit murder. This piece of evidence ultimately leads to an execution order.
Wow.
The guards take Shin to an execution site next to the Taedong River. A crowd has gathered to watch. They drag out his mother and his brother. They're killed in front of Shin's eyes. In 1996, Kim Young is transferred to Camp 18. To him, this place feels like heaven.
Bro slammed his family just for talking, bro. Their whole mentality there pretty much is like, everybody is scared, bro. It's no family connections with anybody or nothing. You just all exist as like people there. And they're all like brainwashed into thinking like, damn, it's not like us. Like, obviously we're like, what the f, why would we snitch ever on our parents, bro? Right? We love our parents and our siblings. To them, it's just their fucking survival. Like, oh, you know, I gotta do this. Maybe I'll get a rank up or something and I could be better cooked.
The labor conditions are slightly better, and to his surprise, he reunites with his 70-year-old mother, who is also a prisoner here. But the violence and abuse don't stop. One day, he has to witness how guards beat up his mother and force her to do manual labor. His mother is certain they will both die in the camp. Even though it means risking his life, she urges Kim to leave her behind and escape. Escaping from a North Korean death camp is almost impossible.
You know, these are highly protected facilities. You're talking barbed wire, walls.
Not to mention, they don't even know what this type of stuff is. Like, we know what barbed wire is, certain security is. I don't know what the fuck that is. They're just like, damn, I'm cooked if I go in it.
Guards intersecting lines of fire. We're talking machine guns. Very, very difficult to escape. I mean, it's, you know, difficult to escape a detention facility in any civilized country. You know, imagine North Korea.
King Young quietly studies his surroundings. He observes, waits, and starts thinking. He lays out multiple escape plans, but none of them seem doable to him.
And even if you escape the fence, bro, how long of a fucking run is it? They would definitely catch you. I guess if you do it at night, you don't get caught.
Another hard day of work. The prisoners are loading coal onto a train. Suddenly, they spot something. Grain scattered across the bottom of a train car. It must have transported food before. The scene explodes into chaos.
What?
Prisoners drop everything, desperately looking for the tiniest speck of food.
Bro, they're fighting for some shitty-ass grains in coal?
The guards start shouting, but no one listens. Kim discovers a narrow space beneath a metal panel in the floor of a coal wagon. He squeezes inside, and as the train rumbles out of Camp 18, he rides with it. Hours later, the train reaches Go-On Station at around 4 a.m. We don't know exactly how, but Kim manages to crawl out of his hideout and disappears into the night.
Escape.
Kim successfully escaped Camp 18, but his path to freedom is still very long. After finding a worker's uniform, he changes clothes and starts a treacherous journey that will take him many months through China and
God damn.
Mongolia.
Oh my god, y'all know the sad thing too? Bro, these ass niggas in China, and I don't know about Mongolia, but in China, if you're a North Korean escapee, bro, they just sent your ass back. Like, South Korea, they allow anybody that escapes, obviously, and like help them adapt to society and things. Bro, China just deports them back, and then they end up dying. Mongolia, don't send them back. I know a the Mongolians. Shout out to y'all for not sending them back.
To South Korea, where he'll eventually seek asylum. Escaping a prison is one thing. Escaping the country is another. We made a whole video on how to escape North Korea. Link is in the description. Shin also manages to escape from Camp 18 twice, both times by crawling under a fence. Both times he's recaptured. After his second attempt, Shin is sent back to Camp 14 and is thrown into a special detention center, a place with only one purpose: torture.
Wow.
I still have the scars of my torture and the burns. Look at my arms.
I was about to say, yeah, wait, so did he escape again?
My arms aren't normal. They are bent and deformed.
Oh my god!
My
Wait, that's actually insane. Bro, these are... What the fuck? Do y'all know how bad of conditions have to be for your bodily autonomy to change?
arms aren't normal.
And he still escaped.
They are bent and deformed. Before I was tortured, my arms were straight. When I was tortured, my arms were tied up with a rope and pulled backwards. That made them more and more bent. I'm filled with anger when I stand in front of the mirror and look at my body after a shower.
Wow.
After 4 weeks of torture, he's thrown into a pitch-black cell. No windows and barely enough space to lie down. There he'll spend the next 6 months. After his release, Shin is thrown back to the general prison population. He has to work in the coal mine, the farm fields, and eventually in a garment factory. This is where he meets Park Young-chul, a man unlike anyone Shin has ever seen. Born into an elite family, Park once held a prestigious job and had seen the world beyond North Korea's borders. By then, Shin already knows he's on the execution list. With Park at his side, he begins planning what will be Shin's third and final escape.
January 2005.
Shin and Park are assigned to do some woodwork up in the mountains, along with some prisoners. They're chopping wood near the outer fence. The camp's fence is around 10 feet high and lined with high-voltage barbed wire. The next guard tower is a quarter of a mile away. Shin watches the patrols. There are long gaps between them where no guard is close enough to spot the two. The plan is simple. Wait until dusk so that their footprints can't easily be traced in the snow. They slip through the high-voltage wires without touching them. As the sun sets, Shin and Park move closer to the fence. They hack branches, pretending to stack wood. Nobody notices them. Park hesitates. Shin's heart races. He grabs wires.
Nah.
The voltage tears through him. His pants char. His skin burns from ankle to knee. But somehow he makes it through. Park's body lies dead on the fence. Shin runs without.
That's crazy, bro. He was gonna escape what got slimed out, and he had to just keep moving on. I feel it though, cause like you have to keep moving on. You can't even think of it. You're like, bro, f this. At that point, I was just like somebody, like a colleague you knew.
Looking back for 2 hours straight.
That's
until he
sad. The other
realizes
dude
that he
couldn't
made
make it. Rest in peace.
He manages to cross the river to China, and after a journey of almost 2 years, he finally reaches South Korea.
What? That's fucking aura, bro. Shout out to him. This nigga went all the way around.
These are all the prison camps that are most likely active in North Korea today. According to Greg Scarlatoiu, the camps are changing, and not for the better. Camps near the border.
Thing is, after learning about these escapes and different things, they only get like stronger and harder to escape. Nowadays, it's literally probably impossible. Like now they know, okay, we gave them too much space right here to like slip through kind of. Now we're just gonna make it so nobody can slip through like that.
Have reportedly been moved further inland, likely to make escape even harder. And some new internal perimeters have appeared, possibly to isolate high-value prisoners.
A third development in terms of infrastructure, evolution and development has been the creation of watchtowers and what appears to be intersecting lines of fire around the camps.
Wow.
They would be meant to basically exterminate those who attempt to leave those camps.
For some camps, evidence is even scarcer.
There's one camp that we know very little about, and that's Camp 16, 1-6. That's very close to the Punggye-ri nuclear testing facility. And I have spoken with the South Korean nuclear scientists who said, look, we don't believe that prisoners are used in digging those tunnels for the nuclear tests, but it is very likely that they will be, used and abused.
They're probably doing like some sick freak ass experiments, like test the nukes and stuff like that, and to see like how far the body can go with like radiation.
While cleaning up after those nuclear tests.
The HRNK estimates that up to 120,000 people are currently held in North Korean prison camps. In fact, as a viewer of this video, you might know
There's probably more too. That's the estimation.
more about them than most
They're
North
using them
Koreans
as
ever
nuke
will.
test subjects.
We have to remember that these people are being tortured and maimed today. They were tortured and maimed yesterday, and the same will happen tomorrow. So, I think it's a matter of moral, ethical, religious, and political obligation to continue to maintain our interest in these issues.
Yeah.
This is Shin today. He gradually adjusted to a life in society and became a public speaker and advocate for human rights in North Korea. In 2015, Shin Dong-hyuk retracted parts of his story and admitted to changing certain key details in Escape from Camp 14. The book's author published a detailed statement outlining every change Shin had made. According to Shin, some memories were simply too painful, and others too shameful to share truthfully at the time. This is a common reaction for victims of torture, who often cope by suppressing or distorting their accounts of what really happened. Greg Scarlatoiu and others believe Shin's changes don't alter the fundamental truth of his reports.
Was Shin Dong-hyuk a political prisoner? Yes, 100%. Okay, he spent some time both at Camp 14 and Camp 18, right across the river. Did he witness the execution of his mother and brother? Yes, he did. So the fundamental elements of Shin Dong-hyuk's story did not change.
Shin bears the scars, physical and psychological. They leave little doubt about the abuse and torture he endured.
That's crazy. Damn, that was a movie, bro. Yeah, we gotta be thankful, yo. Every time I'm feeling not thankful, I just see some shit happen in North Korea. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm thankful again. God damn. This makes me be grateful to be born in the US. No, dead ass, bro. Just being born in any Western country, you're definitely like at much more of an advantage, I'm gonna be honest. Honestly, being in basically any other country is better. There's countries that are dictatorships and still do terrible things, and it's still gonna be fucking better. Anyways, if you're watching on the 2, make sure to join the Discord and watch the streams.
Subscribe to Tommy and FG.